Hello, my name is Yana Lashenko, and I am a Google Logistics Specialist. I handle delivering the target audience to businesses with the necessary parameters. Starting from today's video, I will be showcasing a team case. It's approximately a month, the last month of work. What do we have here? The sales market in Ukraine. We have a theme here, how to describe it smoothly. Let it be something for photography. Let this product be for photography. I won't specify it. Once again, I remind you why I sometimes don't specify the details well enough about what the product is and which product it is. You don't have that many advertisers in Ukraine, and a competent marketer can quite effectively and accurately calculate your strategy, test it, and improve it. That's exactly what I would do. That's why I'm not showing all these nuances here. Let's put it this way, even if you came to me, probably ordered an ad, you probably wouldn't want me to spill your tricks either. That's the simple explanation for why it's like that. So, what exactly are the challenges in this project? I am not quite satisfied with this month that I am showing here because the cost per conversion should be at least 80 hryvnias cheaper. I will now explain why it isn't that cheap, and there are companies in this project that really meet the target KPIs that the client wants. But for now, these are the options we have for solving this issue. What do we have here? We have an increase in the number of conversions, a kind of spike, as I call it. I usually refer to these traffic spikes as spikes. Why? Because you need to conduct a test to understand if your products, whether they are cash cows or stars, can significantly increase in conversions after you drive more traffic to them. Because your performance, especially when the cost per conversion doesn't, in fact, align properly, can lead to a significant drop in effectiveness. So I have a spike here, it's very smooth, and here it goes smoothly. In terms of pieces, it seems that the client's wish is almost fulfilled, which is from 10 conversions. For example, there were 27, and even here we have 22 conversions, so it's a more or less stable standard period. Moreover, if we take, for example, and even draw the same graph of average values, for instance, conversions. Let me even remove the bones to make it easier for you. More accurately, if we draw this line here, this is our lower threshold, the average values somewhere from the conversions. In this case, the average conversion values are somewhere around here. There are negative deltas in the recent periods, but they are partially offset by these small spikes. That's why I say it's not a super great result, but we needed to reduce the CPA. Basically, there aren't any significant spikes upwards. But here in the conversions, you can see this segment that went further after the increase in traffic. As you will see, the amount of traffic decreased during certain periods, meaning it became lower. This was done to reduce the cost per conversion. What are these breakthroughs that I'm talking about? It is very important. This account is fully optimized and scaled only on Performance Max. So, there are no ordinary products here. Performance Max is a type of advertising campaign that uses the same artificial intelligence in its training. That is, for you to understand, note this important nuance. First, when you create your performances and see this status initially, it is the initial training. It is just the first A/B test that the performance conducts. Next, it is optimized based on the data analytics received for the applied account, and this may differ entirely from the signal that was used. Moreover, it can still orient itself to the signal after changes are made, but okay, at most for the first 2 weeks. If there's nothing to catch in terms of your conversion rhythm, it will completely abandon that signal, and generally will work in a different direction. It is very easy to check if you follow the product analysis of what is happening in your advertising account during various periods after making changes to the signal. So, what do we have here? You need to make test shots carefully. First, you make them small and then observe and analyze whether the number of conversions will increase after these test shots. If cash cows or stars stop growing, cash cows, I remind you, according to the SWOT analysis, we have 4 categories of products. The simplest categorization is cash cows. These are products that consistently bring a certain number of conversions per month, steadily over several months. Secondly, There is an increase in traffic. They are growing in numbers, while your KPIs, target costs, or profitability are not particularly moving in a negative direction. There are star products, which are individual items that do not reach a certain number of conversions or conversion rate, unlike cash cows. Plus, when increasing the amount of traffic to them, they often just drop in profitability. These are our dead dogs, products that cost us but bring us nothing. Here, I think the simplest and zeros. Zero items are not products with zero views. They are also products with a relative quantity to other product positions. If you're interested, come for a consultation. We'll analyze your products. Usually on the internet, a popular structure is when bestsellers are launched along with all other products. And in such situations, only half of the 10 accounts can actually grow. The other half doesn't understand what's happening with the performance because both the top and non-top items are either very expensive or completely unprofitable. That's because you are incorrectly identifying the bestseller. Bestsellers are technically determined by metrics. And you need to know how to work with bestsellers. It won't be easier for you to work with zero sellers or dead stock, as this is not the most versatile option. We have this kind of performance after the initial burst, meaning this is not the first month of working with this advertising account. There is some growth in conversions, but if the cost per conversion doesn't drop significantly or starts to increase, like we saw here, 172 hryvnias and then again 273 hryvnias, then the amount of traffic starts to cut down accordingly. The quality of this traffic needs to improve. All these changes are made as a result of analyzing where the auction statistics are, the quality of your traffic, and where the comparisons are in product analysis, view item, add to cart, and other metrics. Because it is important here, this performance can be manually adjusted, not entirely qualitatively, but it is still present. I will also show what this conversion cost of 203 hryvnias means, what it can be if we go down to product level analysis, and why in some cases it is worth cutting traffic to reduce the conversion cost. Here, I will take one. It is second in the number of conversions, this advertising campaign. You can see the performance right away. What are we doing next? I want to move to the groups, my friend, to show you a picture. As you can see, I have a feed-only advertising campaign without any objects. We have a certain breakdown. What do we see? For example, let's take the first category by the number of conversions. 178 hryvnias was the cost per conversion. I turn it around, and what can I see here? I can see the following picture. For example, here there are 18,000 impressions for this particular product position. The conversion rate is quite good. 6.45 is not bad. 20 conversions at 199 hryvnias. At the same time, the profitability is 8.08. This indicates that the average check here is much higher than in other categories. The same can be said for these products. That is, the high cost, for example, the final cost per conversion, can be formed from several parameters. These are at least the products that spent money, brought some results, and either fit or did not fit into the cost per conversion. There will be products that spent money, but here the amount is small. Good, but it adds up to the total cost per conversion. Or, for example, what else should I show you? For instance, in connection with this grouping, here in one product position, there is also a projection. Here are 12 conversions. They are quite poor in profitability. 275 hryvnias cost per conversion. That is, conditionally, it is visible. And even with this, the cost per click is quite high and the conversion rate is quite low. This is for the entire duration of the month of this product position's operation. But overall, the cost per conversion for this campaign, you could say, is 183, which is very close to what we need. For example, in the cost per conversion, conditionally, you could even take this same one here. The cost per conversion has actually improved slightly a bit, although this last period was not very high quality, so to speak, a little. That is, if we look at the product level, considering the daily budget limitations we have for expenses and our large structure of advertising campaigns, unlike other cases, The high cost per conversion is not formed because we have a lot of similar products, but because each product position, for example, whether it is a sacred cow or something like that, is expensive in terms of cost per conversion. Here, the issue is problematic from the perspective of the traffic quality signal we selected in these performances. One of the reasons why it often fluctuates and changes is due to these bursts when we increase a certain amount of traffic. Accordingly, in these bursts, the performance fully amplifies what was previously strong. Strong not in terms of positivity, but maybe even negatively. In terms of traffic volume, some product position generated more clicks than potentially conversions. Or, for example, it generates clicks for a certain product position, but a completely different position converts. How to determine this? If your number of conversions at the product level is much lower than at the campaign level, this often happens. Or in the analytics, you might see that you have conversions from campaigns that have already been excluded. This also happens in situations where quite complex attribution work is being done between performances or within a specific performance. Here is such a case. Is it super positive, super great in terms of cost per conversion? Definitely not. But in terms of the number of conversions, there is something to boast about. Here it is as an example, showing that it is working. What positive action did the client take? They trusted us and waited through the period while we were training this performance. Because generally, most clients aim to enter the market at any cost and achieve sales in one go. There's a very common strategy where they significantly lower the cost per conversion, believing that a super cheap product will sell out quickly. But it is important to remember that in some niches, you won't be able to attract a customer with the lowest price alone. They will still shop around and compare. If it is, for example, electronics or something electronic, people usually do not want to buy the cheapest one. They will most likely choose something from the mid-price range. Why? Because it's psychology. If it's super cheap, it might be a counterfeit or something of low quality. Why will it be cheaper than others? Because here, entering the market with such products is not about super low prices. I don't even see the point in why you are going out with super low prices, cutting your margin, supposedly to get more conversions. It doesn't work that way. First of all, you need to determine not to kill your niche, because someone else might come in with the same strategy or see it and start lowering prices, and you will cut your own margin, so to speak. Secondly, it is very important to remember that the more specific your product is, the more specific its audience is, and the lower the KPIs you need, the more you need to focus on the process of collecting the right analytics to make a breakthrough. And align the cost per conversion or profitability, what target PPI you need there. Because this is artificial intelligence, the quality of the data being transmitted is important to it, as it affects its direct operation.